Here's a stat that should terrify every fan watching the group stage this summer. In a 48-team World Cup with 12 groups of just 4 teams, ties are not rare. They're basically guaranteed. And if you don't understand how FIFA breaks them, you are going to watch your team get eliminated on a technicality you never saw coming. Somewhere in this tournament, a team is going to go home not because they lost more games, but because of a rule buried on page 40 of a FIFA document nobody reads. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know that rule better than most commentators do. Quick refresher because everything else builds on this. Win a game, get 3 points. Draw, get 1. Lose, get 0. 3 group games per team. Simple math. But here's the thing, with only 4 teams per group, it is incredibly common for 2 or even 3 teams to land on the exact same point total. That's when the real drama starts. This is the part almost everyone gets wrong, including longtime fans. In past World Cups, if teams were tied, FIFA looked at overall goal difference across all 3 games. Not anymore. Starting in 2026, the very first tiebreaker is head-to-head results, but only between the teams that are tied. So if Team A and Team B are level on points, FIFA rewinds to the game they played against each other. Who won that match? Who had the better goal difference in that match? Who scored more in that match? This sounds simple. It isn't, because it means your fate can hinge on a single game from 3 weeks earlier that you'd almost forgotten about. If head-to-head still doesn't separate them, say 3 teams are tied and it gets messy, FIFA zooms back out. Now they look at goal difference across all 3 group matches, not just the head-to-head ones. This is the stat you're used to hearing about. Goals scored minus goals conceded. Beat a weak team 7-0 in your final group game, and suddenly you're not just padding your highlight reel, you're building a tiebreaker cushion for later. Still tied? Now it comes down to raw scoring output. Not goal difference. Just goals scored. Full stop. This one-bit Portugal back in 2018. Spain and Portugal were level on points and goal difference, but Spain had scored 1 more goal across the group stage. Group win? Gone. Over a single goal that probably felt meaningless at the time. In practice, teams that grind out ugly 1-0 wins can get punished later for not scoring more when they had the chance. Here's where it gets interesting, and honestly a little brutal. If everything above is still tied, FIFA turns to yellow and red cards. Every card costs you points on a fair play scale. A yellow card is -1. A second yellow that becomes a red is -3. A straight red is -4. Fewer total deductions wins the tiebreaker. This has actually happened. In 2018, Japan advanced over Senegal purely because Japan picked up fewer cards. Senegal became the first team in World Cup history eliminated by a disciplinary tiebreaker instead of a scoreline. You know the type of fan who thinks yellow cards don't matter in the group stage. That fan is wrong. If somehow, after all of that, teams are still dead even, FIFA pulls out the official FIFA World Ranking and gives the edge to whichever team is ranked higher. And if that fails too, which is almost impossible, the very last resort is a drawing of lots. Yes, names in a hat. It happened in 1990 between Ireland and the Netherlands. Both advanced anyway, so it barely mattered. But imagine going out of the World Cup because of a raffle. Now here's the twist that makes 2026 completely different from every World Cup before it. It's not just the top 2 teams from each group advancing anymore. The top 8 third-place teams across all 12 groups also sneak into the new round of 32. That means teams from completely different groups who never played each other get ranked against one another using points, goal difference, goals scored, disciplinary record, and world ranking, in that order. No head-to-head is possible here because they literally never met. So a third-place finish in one group could be worth more than a third-place finish in another group entirely, depending on how brutal or weak that group turned out to be.
Here's the bigger picture. This tiebreaker system exists because 48 teams squeezed into groups of 4 almost guarantees chaos, and FIFA needed a ladder detailed enough to sort it out fairly. One rule you'll want to remember: head-to-head decides ties before overall stats even get a look. That single change could flip results fans have taken for granted for decades. So here's a question worth sitting with. As the group stage unfolds this summer, which team do you think gets knocked out, not by losing, but by a tiebreaker nobody saw coming? If this actually made the rules click for you, subscribe, because we're breaking down everything else about this World Cup before it kicks off, and you don't want to miss.